That looks pretty good. I'm still getting associated with all of this. Let's see. Oh, sounds like real life, right? I'm sorry, I had to toss that one in. Is that 65? Hmm. 10,000 gold. This feels a little bit broken. This feels a little bit like they somehow didn't quite balance this, right? This is on deity, correct? Hmm. Sure. Sounds fun.
Fine.
Do you really want to declare war? So sad. True American way, not knowing where your parts are. It's right there. I know. Yeah. Devastating. Yeah. You mean Civ 5? Yeah, yeah. I One nuke on a city per turn, or one from each aircraft carrier per turn. That one's going, yeah. Can't rain 65 nukes down on your opponent in one turn. Of the city, right? Sometimes you want to go off center and hit, like, I see some districts just to your north that maybe need it. A little liberation. Because you got to capture each of those districts when you roll in, and like, yeah. I like the splash mechanic though for naval battles. Game ends because you crash the whole thing. Seems likely. That's something you could do. Hmm. I don't remember which mark that was. I'll be at the computer though. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to give a little backstory here, right? So I am employed. I have a job, and occasionally they send me places, right? Important to be fixed, and they needed something to be fixed in Israel. So I went to Israel and I did a job. Went a week there, more or less. Supposed to go to Italy afterwards, little vacation, things. I don't know. So I'm in Israel, and Friday night, it's Thursday night. I finished the job. Friday, they're off at Shabbat, right? So there's nothing going on Friday. I'm thinking, yeah, I could probably get out Friday. I have a couple meetings on my calendar, so I'll just do some sightseeing in the morning and head out in the afternoon or Saturday morning, I guess. Do some sightseeing Friday morning, take my meetings in the afternoon, head out Saturday morning. Great. Friday night, I have a meeting with my manager. This is like the final check-in meeting that we sort of have. I'm originally planning to leave Monday. I figured I might need Sunday to finish some stuff up Thursday. So I was able to leave. Him and I agree, yeah, we should pull this flight in. I should try to get out tomorrow. Things are getting tense, right? When you travel like this and you go to random countries, there's always like value in setting up the STEP program, which is like the U.S. program to essentially send you information about like regional instability and whatnot. So I had signed up for both Italy and Israel. What's happening with their trains, I guess, terrorism. I don't know. I think it was related to the Olympics. I got almost no messages about Israel. That Friday, I got a message in the morning. Embassy workers who are non-essential are now allowed to leave if they want to leave. All right, well, that's a vague statement, not super strong, but maybe it's sort of like the first warning to get out. That night, there was going to be strikes on Iran. So Friday night, I pull my flight in. I'm thinking I'll leave Saturday first thing. And I go to bed early. I'm tired. I am there just kind of regularly. I thought about going out, having a few drinks. I was like, nah, I want to get up and get out of here. I can drink in Rome. So I go to bed. I'm starting to wake up around 3 in the morning, a little bit rolling over, and I hear over the hotel, whoosh, whoosh. It's the sound of like jet fighters in the air. It's not like a commercial airliner. It's faster. It's a little bit more of a hum. You know it when you hear it, right? So I'm hearing this, and I'm just like, God, are they actually about to do this? I'm thinking, no, they're going to go up to the border. They're going to, I can see what Iran's doing, and then kind of come back and do it on another day. Boy, was I wrong. So I woke up. I waited till 6 to leave because I wanted to get some breakfast. And the hotel usually had a pretty good breakfast at 6 a.m., except not on Saturday, apparently, because, Shabbat. I hung around. I got a cup of coffee. Around 6:30, I check out, argue with the woman. Well, but you're supposed to be here till Monday. Already paid for. I don't know how we're supposed to do this. It's like, bitch, get me the fuck out of here. I'm leaving today. I don't care what you do with the money. I'm going. And you could tell she was nervous. And I was just like, huh, did not expect that, but whatever. I get out, I start driving. I'm coming down the hill. I'm up in this northern city called Haifa. And I'm coming down the hill towards the sea, and what do I see off on the horizon? Fucking aircraft carrier. I almost had an accident. I almost crashed the car trying to like figure out, is there a spot I can go and just take a photo of this? And I was like, no, I don't even want to do that. I just want to get out. So I get on the highway and I'm driving, and I'm maybe halfway to the airport in Tel Aviv when all of a sudden my phone starts screaming at me. See, there's a mess. I kind of figure it out real quick. Oh yeah, we're probably getting some sort of warning about an attack. This hasn't happened yet while I'm here, but I don't know. I start seeing people pulling over or all this type of stuff, and I'm just like, I am getting to that airport. I floor it. I am doing about as fast as this little car is going to do, and I'm just flying down the road trying to get out. Get to the airport, and there's security. You have to go through a security checkpoint to drive to the terminal. And the woman takes my passport. I'm like, I got a flight. She goes, no, you don't. Shit. Well, I'm gonna go to the rental car return and see what's going on. Try to regroup there. So I do. I go to the rental car return. actually gas my car up because I'm thinking, yeah, I might still manage to return this and get out today. Who knows? Maybe she's wrong. Maybe the airspace isn't closed. Maybe she's just screwing with me. So I'm at the rental car place and like the guy's like, "Are you sure you want to give your car back right now? Because we're not going to be able to rent you another one with the current situation." And I was like, I'm not sure what this means. Let me call my travel agency." Right? Corporate travel's all done through an agency. You don't wing anything. Everything is done very carefully. So I call the travel agency and I'm on the phone with them for about an hour. And I'm just like, hey, they're telling me that the airspace in Israel is closed and all my flights are canceled. Can you confirm this for me? Can you help me figure out what we got to do next to get me rebooked on something? And the guy's just like, everything looks like it's scheduled to depart on time. I don't see anything. It's like, ah, shit. Are you sure? Because I'm literally at the airport right now, and this is literally what they're telling me. Middle of all this, I get a phone call from my company. We have security people in the country. We have all this type of stuff, and they're just telling me, don't go anywhere. Get to a safe spot. Get to a hotel, and just don't move. Oh man, do this. Whole time I'm at the rental car place. It's a couple hours, right, to rebook my flight. I need to try to get out of here. The travel agency is doing all this in the background. It's taking an hour. They start being air raid sirens. So now we have to go into this bunker. Bunkers, by the way, nothing special. Just a couple concrete walls. You hit a bunker with a missile, bunker's gone. I guarantee it. You hit a bunker with a drone, that bunker might be gone. But it's a place, not explosive things. I'm in and out of this bunker all day at this airport rental car, and talking to the other people who were supposed to fly out, and some of them were convinced they were going to drive to Jordan, drive to Egypt, and I had a plan, right? I kind of said before I was going, if this shit hits the fan, I'm going to Jordan. Jordan seems like the best. Probably should be able to get out. I didn't know at the time that Iran was basically hitting all the Middle East. Good thing I didn't go to Jordan. I wouldn't have gotten out. I would have been stuck in Jordan. Wouldn't have been good. This one couple was like, yeah, we're going to drive to Egypt. We can charter a plane out of this airport down here by Taba. And da-da-da-da-da. I'm just like, shit, I want to go with you, but they're telling me don't go to the border. They're telling me don't drive across the country. They're telling me to stay in place and shelter. So I go to the hotel eventually. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the hotel. I haven't eaten today. I didn't really eat dinner the night before. I just kind of went to bed. I was hungry. There was no breakfast. I'm going to go to the airport. I'm going to go to the hotel and start figuring out what the hell's going on. So if everybody's in and out of the bunkers, for all I know, that hotel's basically shut down. I get there, check in. It's actually in a pretty good spot, really nice. I don't know where exactly, but essentially I was right next to where all the military were convening, let's say. So they called up 50,000 or so reservists that first day, and they were all sort of going to one or two spots, I guess, to collect. It was interesting. Made you feel safe, right? I do check in. I there's more sirens. I find in the middle of like the hotel. I head in and I meet my bunker mates. Bunker mates are interesting. One guy was like European, trying to get back, trying to get out the same way, and his company took a different approach than mine. They basically said, we are going to drive everybody to Jordan just so that we are in like one spot. We had maybe 6 people there. We were all scattered. I think none of us were in the same hotel at first. Eventually that consolidated down a little bit. So direct that you knew they kind of had that plan already. And they did. They executed it. He was there that first night and then gone. Other bunker mates included Jewish couple who just moved to Israel that week. And from South Africa and New Zealand, so good English there. And a couple Air Force guys who were staying in that hotel going back to November. Crazy. It was absolutely crazy. U.S. Air Force there to make U.S. assets work on the ground in Israel in the lead up to this war. So my company's told me don't go outside. They've told me this a couple times over the phone. And I'm just like, I can't find anything. Everything basically shut down. You couldn't get food delivered. The hotel restaurant wasn't really working at that point. Everybody was sort of everything was up in the air. So that night I'm in all of a sudden, whole fucking building shakes. A couple inches side to side. You can feel it. There's something that blew up somewhere. I knew that meant a missile hit somewhere, right? It's pretty obvious. I go out and I start looking on X, and sure enough, there's a video of a missile landing in Tel Aviv, and I see my hotel. We weren't hit, but something like 2 or 3 blocks away was hit. Um, Pretty bad. I think somebody died in that attack. And I was just, I was just there. A couple times you hear the alarm, and you're like, I'm not going to go into that space. And then overhead, you'll hear like boom, 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 and like the interceptors just hit something over you. So like it seemed like if you were going to be brave or try to be brave or whatever and stay out of the bunker, you'd occasionally hear that and just be like, I don't need to stay out of the bunker. You knew when something was overhead. You knew when something was going on, and yeah, it was wild. So Saturday night, we were in and out of that bunker a lot, and I got to know those people pretty okay. The Israeli couple almost seemed happy to be there. It was very odd, like the most pro-Israel Zionist couple in that room. Most pro-Israel Zionist couple I could imagine being stuck with in that room. Iran's going to be free, and I'm just like, oh, God, they're so naive. I'm pretty pacifist. I didn't support this strike. I don't support this war. I still don't support it. Right. I think it's a fool's errand. I think we're you know rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic here. We switched one Ayatollah for another hardline Ayatollah, and the IRGC is really just kind of strengthening their grip. We missed the timing for the protests, right? If you do this when those protests are going on, maybe you manage to overthrow the regime for something more democratic and more friendly. We didn't. We missed the timing on it. It fell behind. You know, I had a little hope that things would be open by Monday. I'd be able to get out on Monday, be in an airplane. That didn't happen. Saturday turns into Sunday. Sunday, you're still in and out of that bunker. Although some stuff was open, so I managed to go get like food. I actually went outside to a bakery, and then I got a phone call while I was in the bakery from someone at my company, and they could tell I was outside, and they were just like, "Remember yesterday?" But that was the rules. So I spent a couple of days in this hotel just talking with my company, trying to figure out what are we doing, guys. Eventually, what they came up with is the same plan that the people at the car rental return came up with a few days before. You go to Egypt, you cross the Taba, you go over to the airport there, and you fly out to Greece. It took us a while to get there. It was Tuesday. Tuesday by the time that they had this. And originally we were going to leave Tuesday night, and then they said we were going to, or early Wednesday morning, and then they said we are going to leave early Thursday morning, and then they said, okay, it's actually late Wednesday night we're leaving. Thanks, guys. So they switched that plan around about 3 times, and it required me to go to the other hotel where the other person in Tel Aviv was staying in order to get picked up, which was right by the beach, right? So Wednesday, I switched hotels. Monday, Tuesday, it was just chaos trying to figure out what was going on. When are we getting out of here? Am I ever going to make it to Italy? And that Wednesday, it was clear I wasn't making it to Italy, which was very unfortunate. But Wednesday, I head over to the other hotel. It's right on the beach. I check in. We're supposed to leave early Thursday morning, like 3, 4 a.m. So I figure I'll get an early sleep. I'll get some sleep. I'll wake up and we'll go. I check in about 45 minutes later. I don't see it. And I'll tell you why. But about 45 minutes later, there's an email. We're leaving tonight. We're leaving from Tel Aviv at 10 p.m. I'm just like, shit. Well, it's another night in a hotel I'm not using, but whatever. I went for a walk. It was so gorgeous out, and I'm right on the beach, and I'm thinking I can't sit inside. I can't sit inside. I don't care anymore. I'm going to walk on the beach. I'm not going to Greece Thursday night, and then basically fly straight back to the States. My flight from Italy would have been Sunday, so if I traveled Friday to Italy, would have been there Saturday, and then flying back Sunday morning. It's like that's so not worth it. So not worth it. And I thought, I got travel insurance, might cover the whole thing. Covered nothing. Apparently, there's a war exemption in travel insurance. So yeah, real part of the story is getting through Egypt, though. So we leave. We get on the bus. There's two of us in that hotel. There were two up in a different hotel. We get on the bus, and we say our names. Nobody's saying a word after that. We know where we're going. The bus driver is driving about as fast as you can drive, and it's like one of those airport shuttle buses. So it's roomy. Four of us filling up an 8-row bus or whatever. It was a tense drive to the border. We get to the border and we're just dropped off. Like this guy is not staying with us. He's going back. 2 in the morning, we meet our fixer. No one's really explained what this process is to us except to say you're going to walk across the border and a taxi will take you to the airport. So we meet our fixer and he's the first. We have to pay the fee on the Israeli side. We have to go through the Egyptian side. We have to pay the fee on the Egyptian side. And then we have to meet our fixer on the Egyptian side to get to the airport. He's the one who has all of the keys on that side. He's not awake. He's not answering his phone. It's 2 in the morning. We don't know where he is, but he's supposed to be there at 2:30. Cool. Let's get across. Let's get to his spot where he wants us to be, and we'll meet him. You go through the Israeli security, pay to get out. We had things that we paid for. Fine, like $35 to leave the country. Great, thanks. Get to the Egyptian side. First thing you do is you got to go through their first security checkpoint, which is essentially X-ray screening of all of your bags and like a pat down of you. And you get patted down. You don't just get to walk through the metal detector. So they confiscate my pen. That was in my jacket pocket for some reason. Great. And we get to my bags are coming through and they're just like 1, 2, 3 through them, right? They know I'm American. They've seen my passport. They know where I'm coming from and where I'm going. So they're just searching my bags like as aggressively as you can search a bag. They find my binoculars in one bag and they take them out and they say, no, this is confiscated. You can't have this. And then they were looking at my camera and they were like, you should take this. Like, you can't take my fucking camera, guys. Like, what are you doing? You took my binoculars. I want those back too. I want those. And they're just like, no, we want this. And eventually they settled on, and I had 3 bags, right? I had my laptop bag, I had my rolling bag, and I had my duffel bag. Binoculars were in the duffel bag. They took that. Camera was up in the laptop bag. And they were searching that thing hard. I don't think they could find all the pockets. But if they did, I think they were trying to take something out of there as well. It seems like they were like just shaking people down for shit. One guy had his harmonicas confiscated. Another guy told me his sunglasses were confiscated. Just like they were just taking what they wanted at that checkpoint. They didn't, there's no reason to take my binoculars. None. 0 reason. So after that, we walk through to the next stop and it's a spot where they check your passport again and they write some stuff on a piece of paper. They're asking you for a tip too while they do this, right? It's like, oh, tip, you have a tip? Give us a tip. It's like, I'm not tipping you. I could have done this myself. I don't know why you're here doing this, but whatever. So we go through there, and now we're waiting because we have to pay the fee at the next spot. We waited about an hour and a half. It was probably around 3:15 when he got there. And, he eventually says, yeah, you're going to go up there. They're going to stamp it. And we have cash to pay the fee. So we're going to pay the fee for you, and you don't have to worry about it. Great. So we eventually get through all this. And we get outside, and he's introducing us to our driver and our bus. This is a smaller bus, still pretty nice. They speak a fucking word of English. So it's about 4 in the morning, and we think we're about to get going because he's getting in the car and he's putting in gear and we're moving. And then he pulls over on the side of the road just up, still inside, and he gets out and he says, airport, 5 o'clock. I was like, 5 o'clock? I mean, we're leaving at 5 or can I get there at 5? He says, airport, 5 o'clock. And some of my colleagues are European and they wanted to smoke or whatever. So we step out and, we're looking around. Fucking ton of donkeys just walking, pack of donkeys crossing the road and very serene, very, very odd. It's a very odd place to be. Middle of nowhere, Egypt at 3 in the morning, donkeys walking around, waiting to get to the airport. Eventually we leave and he's driving. The road doesn't mean anything in Egypt either, apparently. He was just going as fast as he could. And this area is right on the coast. It could be a very nice coastal area. But I just think the instability in Egypt means they probably don't get any tourists anymore. And so for them, this was a chance to make some money, right? Like they were charging, I'm sure, a good chunk of change to get us from that border to that airport. He's driving, leave the area. There's a police security point, then there's another one just up ahead. You sort of get waved through. You come to this next checkpoint, and he's pulling over and stopping, and he asks us all for our passports, and we're tired. It's 4:30 in the morning. We haven't slept necessarily. He hands him our passports. He hands them to this guy out the window. They open the sliding door on the side, and they say, "Fee, you pay the fee." And we're just like, "What? We paid the fee at the border. We know we paid the fee at the border. We're not paying these guys. We don't know who they are. They're not police. They're not military. It's a fucking shakedown." A couple of us step out, and I'm about 6'1". This other guy's about 6'5". They didn't have guns, so it was sort of like, yeah, what are you guys doing with our passports? Eventually, they give them back, and we get going. But it was like another really tense moment. The driver was really nervous. You could tell he did not like what was going on. You know, Egyptian guys are holding our fucking passports. And I've already been shook down. Well, other people have already been shook down at the crossing. We're not putting up with it. We're not giving them it. And some expired credit cards, right? I set that up knowing I'm going into Italy where there's pickpockets, right? I didn't think I was going to need to get out of fucking Israel. Police checkpoint, just wave us through. And we get to Taba, and Taba has this sign, "Welcome to Taba." And it's got a woman on it, and she's in a burqa. The burqa was very colorful, so I'm sure we go down this road towards the airport. This is like the main turn you have to make. And we get stopped. Another checkpoint. They're stopping everybody. And this was a long one. We don't really know what's going on. It's like 4:30 in the morning. Our driver's in and out of the car. We're kind of talking amongst ourselves when he's out of the car. And it's not clear what are we headed towards. But there's people who look like police, and then there's people who don't look like police, and they're all sort of wandering around, and they're all sort of giving orders. You see, they're searching some of the other people that came through. They're clearly confiscating some stuff, and they clearly didn't like whatever our driver had to say to them. We don't know what it was, though. So it's 4:30 in the morning. We've been waiting for maybe 15 minutes already. All the prayers going off, and you're just in the back of this van in Egypt hoping, that you're going to get to the airport still, right? The fixer that well, except that he was late. Hard to tell what's really about to happen, But there was a bit of nervousness there. And eventually the police, actual police car comes up and pulls up beside him. And he shows him his papers. And the police car's like, you're reviewing it, and he hands it back to him. And then they kind of have a moment where they repeat the same word, which is a little bit nervous, right? They're saying a word in Arabic. I don't speak Arabic. And whatever that word is, the cop says it, the driver says it, the cop says it, the driver says supposed to go. Maybe a location we're not supposed to go. That sort of thing. Are they talking about something? Is our driver actually legally allowed to drive, or is he some random person that this company has, grifted us into using? We don't know. Eventually, they do let us go, and it's a chaotic drive, but we get to the airport. Every bit of security at the airport's insane. Lines don't matter outside the U.S. apparently. Like in Egypt, a line doesn't matter. There's no line to check your bags. It's just, kind of. Hey, we had hoped for an airport bar. We all wanted a drink at that point. Now, so we're sitting in the airport until eventually we get on a plane. It's a small plane that's fucking cram tight. Flies us to Greece. We land, and we were out. The rest of it was just spending a night in the airport hotel bar, having a couple of drinks and some Greek food, and then an early morning flight out through Germany. It was crazy. Absolutely madness. And it's continuing, right? So they're Yeah, it happens. I saw you saved at one point. I didn't know exactly why. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right? There you go. So, since coming back, I've seen it's gotten actually worse, and that's going to continue. It makes sense. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It is a very in that country. It is not just all ugly or whatever. It's very beautiful. It's very frustrating because later and everything, it doesn't feel like they take care of that history, right? I went to a town called Tiberia and Caesarea, and these are old Roman forts, right? There's nothing Roman about them anymore. There was no relics, no ruins, no nothing. It was just completely built over into a modern city. Like they have no regard for Roman history. They have no regard for Christian history either. A lot of Christian sites are totally built over. Nazareth beats me. Yeah, that was my story. That was my experience. I lived through a couple shellings, a couple missile attacks, and yeah, a whole new reason to dislike the country. Oh, definitely. Right. I don't think that's realistic. Sorry, Joe. So here's the thing. A lot of those people in Israel who support this war don't want to stop at the Islamic Republic. My bunker mates were talking about Turkey. Like day one of this war, people were like, "Yeah, this is going great. We're gonna overthrow the Islamic Republic, and then Turkey's our problem." And since the war's continued, they've done tons of damage to southern, right? Like they're not. I don't think they're going to stop with Iran. If they do, if they overthrow Iran and then they stop, great. I don't think that's where they stop. I think it emboldens them to take over more parts of the Middle East. Yeah, what you're saying is far too logical, right? That's not how, in from the people I spoke with there, that's not how the pro-war people think about it. They very much see Turkey as being a similar Islamic state that needs to be sort of removed. And the fact, that, 53 or whatever, yeah. Yeah. I think what's happening in Lebanon is clearly not necessary. I, yeah, but they're not hitting these roads. They hit an encampment of people who were fleeing the bombing, right? Like Israel isn't they're not doing a targeted strike on Hezbollah. They are just trying to seize a chunk of southern Lebanon. Oh, if it wasn't the Golan Heights, the buffer zone, why are we taking more? Yeah, it looks like it. Just take it. Yeah, yeah, I sort of worked out right. You know, And that goes back to Civ 5. You didn't have to work out there either. The fighters sweep, but it was sort of like, well, by the time that they send fighters over to sort of get you, you've basically already attacked them. I would say it's an absolute success. But from what I heard, Xerxes' son has taken over, and he's a little bit more extreme than Xerxes. You're killing your own troops. Oh my. Yeah. Day. Yeah, yeah. So in other news, I started playing with my own AI now, right? So I've done an install of some stuff on my Debian machine, and I'm trying to train a financial advice bot, something that can just kind of tell me about what's going on with my checking account and my investment account and pull information and stuff. So very new, very early, but at some point I'll show you some progress down. Right now I'm asking it very basic questions and watching as it like uses 100% of my GPU. Here's a new GPU I got just for this. Oh no. Oh, you're totally obliterating them. Coming to the thing I'm learning about this whole AI thing, it's coming for you whether you want it or not. So you got to start figuring out how to use it now. But it's not obvious how to make it always work the way that you want it to. And sometimes it really does just like totally do stuff stupid. And it's very like this whole setup is very, very specific. Like it takes in a file and then it turns it into just a giant set of text as opposed to keeping it in the original format. But then it's also smart enough to know that, oh, there's a file extension, I'll compute it as if it were that file extension, and then it causes issues. um, I'm fighting with it. Weird text. Yeah. more established and they're able to get it going. Hmm. You don't know what to make of people actually wanting to be around you. Yeah. Yeah, let's see a tactical nuke. Oh, it lagged. I guess it did it. Okay. Well, you had the lead for it, right? You had the lead for it. Mm. Now, wait, what? Delete them from the game? No, I don't think I've ever beat them that rapidly. Yeah, if they have just like a useless general or something. I think it depends on how they have, if they have allies who can bring him back. Yes, if they, all right, yeah. I mean, it was set up to be a full domination at this point. Right. Can't imagine them having anything left. Yeah, I see that. 10, 10K up still at 1.5 million. It's gonna be there for millions of years, show. It's tea time for Joe. How's the tea? Gonna spill the tea? Oh, I mean, I many years ago when I dated a woman who played Civ 5, I nuked her, and I don't think she ever forgave me. Maybe it's because it was her first time playing a full game. I don't know. A little harsh. Is it ever necessary? Was this necessary? Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. This was a decade plus ago now. Almost a decade ago, maybe. I don't really. It was more than a decade, I think. I love a good tactical nuke. As long as we don't see this happen in the actual Middle East, I'm okay. May rest in peace. Challenging it is still to get this war won, even with like the insane technological financial advantage you have, because there's just like a choke point. You can't buy units all over the map and then move them in. And if you try to, you're going to crash the game. Do, 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 do. I've been playing with my AI in the background here. I'm going for this so hard. It is a challenge. Oops. Let them. That's their problem. We have Delhi too. Nuke Delhi. Yeah, I think it's okay to nuke them then. Totally acceptable. You need to upgrade your computer. It's on a new graphics card. Same amount on RAM. So expensive. So expensive right now. I think you're gonna be able to clean that up pretty quick. I don't know. I don't see him. What is that? I think even if they're not fully eliminated from the game. Oh, you could try to trade them and see if you can see their cities, right? "93 cities." What is the It's 24 for settlements, I guess, not cities. Yeah. I need to rebalance this a bit. I need to rebalance it a bit. I don't know. They still got a bunch of cities. How many hours of Civ 7 have you played? Yeah, definitely. You can carry this scrub. Okay. Like I said, you can carry me. Doesn't need to go overseas, right? Yeah. I might just pick civs that do like culture and science and totally work against your militaristic side. Yeah, because that gets you to the next military stuff faster, right? We ran into last time is I didn't generate enough science, and so my military was like one or two units behind when we were trying to get some of our wars to work, which is a problem. Oh, yeah, Dilly's about to pull. All's fair in love and war. And Civ. Uh, yeah. I mean, did you take? You could. You haven't taken Baghdad yet. Who knows? Only one way to find out. There it goes. One more district, maybe two more. This too shall pass. I mean, there'll come a day when there's a real AI playing Civ, and curious to see how it goes. Yeah. I can't wait. The AIs will start betting on themselves, throwing matches. That's military. Oh, that's Monaco though, right? They're not friendly. They're at war with you. They don't like you. Yeah, you can bomb them. I think you need to nuke them just to be safe. Ah, yes. A natural disaster. I think that's oh, there's more of them. How do you get the submarines? I guess you just bomb them like normal. Because nukes don't hit them because they're under a boat. Weird part about it is this can't be the final technology, right? Like there's newer versions of jets and stuff. Like what's your tech tree? Oh, yeah, you skipped some stuff. But why were there no like jet fighters that I saw? So you can get battleships and nukes, but you'll never get the jet fighters. It's like they ended the technology in 1950. I don't remember what the last texts were, but like you used to get futuristic fighting robots in Civ 5, so I don't know. 6 was weird. I don't care for 6, so I don't have any answer for you on that. But 5, stuff that, you know, nice tanks too. So yeah, it's still not. They have some work they should have done still on this game. I don't know if they're gonna fix it or if they're just gonna like push out a bunch of civs and like I think they're just gonna do more civs and then is that good enough? sitting. Hmm. What thing? Oh, the little unit there that's about to die. Yeah. Convert it to a city for 15,000 gold. It's so weird seeing cities this large where you have 4 specialist spots over the entire set of districts. I usually only get like 3, or it's some. It's better that way. You don't want to have like a sprawling city. You want to keep things right on top of it. I finally realized that like there's a good way to do it too. Like each era, there's things that you need to build, and like if you actually end your era too fast, get the newer thing to build on top of it, you don't get the same bonuses. You know what I mean? Pew, pew. Oh, there's still a tank in there. Not anymore. Yeah, someone needs to mod the game to add the Ayatollahs in Israel. Absolutely. I think you need a few more boats there, honestly. Only- Yeah, I see it. Roma. Oh, I guess it wasn't every 3 turns. Those are just near the end. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was my pleasure. I look forward to playing some Civ 7 with you in the future. Yeah, maybe we'll broadcast it.